Hey guys, it's Matt. As you know, one of the things this channel does is endlessly present reality, what I call reality breakdowns, reality anomalies, things that prove as you move out towards the screen, really nothing's real, which gets you to stop paying attention to it and reflect back on your own life and your own experience here. We should be a little bit clearer on the goals of this channel. Therefore, we do return to, quote, the screen from time to time. Now, this is another example of how, just throw a dart into the post-it notes of different categories and topics, how everything is breaking down. Nothing is holding water. There's strange little phenomenons with everything. And the big question to me is, well, why didn't we notice before? Well, maybe it didn't exist before, but I don't want to get into that. This is on Google. Some bot somewhere just woke up like, what did he say? Let me pay attention. There's all these strange, the original one about how quick search results come back, I addressed that about a year ago. And, I'm not an expert at it at all, but I'd love an excuse to talk about how impossibly fast search results come back. And this is a great excuse. Now, TJ, let me just tell you about the original source video here. I'm not going to link to it. I have no idea what this channel is, what it's all about. Who knows how, thousands of people just hit subscribe. I do not want to condone that. If you really want to find the original source videos, and they're very intriguing and very good, I'll give you that. All you have to do is search in the YouTube box. The name of the channel is All Time. So you search All Time space The Dead Internet Theory. And it's the 2-video series, The Dead Internet Theory, and you'll see The Dead Internet Theory 2. So if you want to go over to that channel, you're going to have to put it in the box. I'm not going to leave a link because I have no idea the intentions of this channel. And we don't just recommend channels anymore for a few different reasons. Whatever you recommend could turn out to bite you. So it's called, again, All Time, The Dead Internet Theory. And TJ brought this to my attention, and I was blown away. The first thing I thought is, well, how come nobody's talked about this? And if others have, guys, I've missed it. But this is the strangest thing I've seen in a long time. And then the back end of this presentation, we're going to again dive into how fast the search results come back. To me, it's not possible in terms of any known understanding of technology within our bookends. It's alien by the pure definition of the word. Okay, guys, the best way to do this is just to jump right in and talk it out as I'm doing it. For anybody interested, this is extremely important to start with. The Google Doodle here, this guy, it's Rodolfo, quote, Corky Gonzalez. Rodolfo Corky Gonzalez. Never heard of you, dude, but I don't think I've ever heard of anybody ever presented in a Google Doodle. All right, so what you do is you just search any major topic that's going to return millions of results, but one where Google should have an idea what you're looking for. So I think this is a good example. Hot rod cars. Google should know exactly what I'm looking for here, even though it's not the most specific result. So we search hot rod cars, and of course, as we're all familiar with, it'll give a ridiculous amount of results, here, and it'll tell you the time it returned it. We're going to talk about that on the back end. It's so proud of the time it returned it to you. It has to show you, 154, by the way, nobody needs to see this. I'll talk you through it. If you're driving, 154 million results in 0.94 seconds. 154 million, that's low compared to some searches. It's still a lot. Okay. The idea is just getting right to the point, the idea is when you go through all the pages and get to the last page, it's not page 900,000. It only gives you about 30 or 40 pages, and then it cuts you off. And I don't even think I'd be making this video, meaning it's censoring 99.9999999 of the search results it says is available. You want to talk, this is censorship in the extreme on steroids to the 10th to the millionth power. Now, I wouldn't even probably be making this video if it didn't say at the top, it didn't keep boasting about how many results it returned, 154 million. Well, let's see. 154 million. Well, somebody just wants to spend all day and they want to see all the links to hot rods that go back to the beginning of the internet, even the early 90s. All right, let's just jump to here. Just keep it simple. Jump to page 10. So now we're on page 10. Still 154 million results. Let's jump to page 14. Go as fast as it will give it to us. 154 million results. Let's jump to page 18. You'll see. Just give me 30 more seconds. Page 18 of 154 million. Still promising 154 million results. It's promising that over and over. But here's 19. Is that the end? Page 19. Now look what happens when you get to the end of the yellow brick road. It says, it changes. It says page 19 of 188 results. What? You promised me 154 million. And you're giving me 188? Want to talk about bait and switch? That's a bait and switch bend over move. Are you kidding me? So wait a second. Something's got to be. And, All Time presented the same thing, and I'm doing similar to what he did. But I see. You can do the search again, but repeat the omitted results. Oh, well, that's got to give you, at least 100 million. All right, let's. It's just Matt. It's just showing you. Its job is to show you the most relevant links. That's what it does. Leave Google alone. Okay, let's see. We're going to click on Show Me with the omitted results. Don't admit anything, Google. I didn't ask you to admit anything. Okay, so it's 142 million now in 1 second for the omitted results. Let's do the same thing. We'll just jump to page 10. It's promising 142 million. Page 10 of 100 still says 142 million. Let's go to page 14. 142 million. Page 18. 142 million. We're still getting links on hot rods. Yeah. Celebrate SoCal hot rod history. 10 hidden hot rod garages. Hot Rod America. Okay. Still going, the links are relevant. Page 22. Showing us a little more how. Matt, it's going to go on forever. No, it's not. Page 22 of 142 million. Future of hot rodding. Okay. Still doing a good. Page 26. 142 million. Still on hot rods. 5 fabulous hot rod shows. Yeah, Google's doing its job. Page 30 of 142 million. 9 custom hot rods. Matt, this is exactly what Google's supposed to do. Page 34. Hot rod run at Palos Verdes. Matt, you're going to be proven wrong, dude. You a dummy. Page 38, 142 million. Got to be getting close if my theories were not my theory, the theory that TJ told me about on All Time, and who knows where he got it, but you'll see. Hot Rod Association of Boulder, 43. It's giving me more. This could take a while. Custom Roadsters. Uh-oh. Do we hit the ending? Oh, look what it did. Page 43 of 422 results. 422 results. It promised me over 100 million. Now, why does it screw you over when it gets to the last page? Whenever you get to the last page, which is like page 35 or 40 or 45, it doesn't give you much of anything. I don't think I've ever done one where I've gotten even over 500 results. It just cuts you off and it says, that's it for you. No more for you. But you promised me 144 million. Well, let's just go back. Well, it's going to correct itself, right? It's going to just tell you that the total results, even with the omitted, is 422 total per the whole web, of which there probably is hundreds of millions of articles and things about hot rods. Let's go back to page 42. Just jump back one page. 142 million. Just going back one page. So if I go one page up, it goes from 142 million to 43 of 422 total results. And if I went back just one page again, it would show me the 142 million. Now, the first thing that popped out at me when I did this myself, and I couldn't believe it really, but I thought the main question is why are they lying to you? Okay, this is a lie. Whenever you search, this proves, and you could Put in whatever you want if you want to do your own. Want to put in baking bread or anything, any massive. Put in just trees. It'll return billions, and it will give you. It won't. It'll promise you billions. It'll give you 0.000. Greg and I did the math on it. It'll give you 0.0000001 results of what it promises. Meaning, if you flip it around, meaning it's not giving you. It's not giving you, meaning it's censoring. I'm allowed to say that if it's not giving me what I want, it's censoring literally 99.99999. I don't know how many decimal points it goes out. Do the math. So this is a lie. There is no other way to spin it. This is a lie. Everything you search, it will promise you up to 1.5 billion results, depending on how broad it is. And every time you will get to page 40 or 45 or 50, and it will cut you off. There's no other way to spin what I'm saying. This is a blatant lie. Okay, it promises you hundreds of millions of what you want, or billions, and it gives you a tiny fraction of what it promises you. Now, that's completely acceptable for Google to do that. In any other facet of society, even the normie down the cul-de-sac, it's completely not acceptable. Well, why would it be acceptable in any scenario? Look, you call the auto parts store here. Here's the auto parts store. This is Dave, and that's Terry. Okay, you're going to talk to Terry on the phone. Your grandfather, has a 1958 Chevrolet Bel Air. Been sitting in the driveway, hasn't been turned over for years. It's starting to rust. Old Bel Air. Well, you're gonna learn how to refurbish it yourself. You call Terry down here at the auto parts store. Hey, Terry, it's Matt. Yeah, my grandfather's got a 58 Bel Air. You wouldn't have. I'm going to start by doing the work that I can do myself, the easiest work, the exhaust system and the tailpipe. I'm going to start slow. You wouldn't happen to have anything at all for the Chevrolet Bel Air 55 to 60. And Terry's like, oh, yeah. Oh, we got rows and rows, and there's so much stuff here. What did you want for the Bel Air? You wanted the exhaust system and the muffler and the tailpipe? We've got rows and racks of it. We have an entire part of the store dedicated to what you're looking for that old Bel Air. Like, what? You do? You have that much stuff? Oh, you're only 45 minutes away. I'll be right down. So you drive down. Like, Terry, I'm here. We talked on the phone. You have the exhaust system and mufflers for the Bel Air. Man, show me what you got. I'm going to go. A lot of choices. And he comes from the back with this, like, one piece of shit rusted out muffler with a hole. We got something for the Bel Air. I told you we did. See, the ratio's the same. Google promises hundreds of millions, and they give you 400. Actually, the ratio's worse, because if I were to keep the ratio the same, Terry would return like one little piece of metal. But Terry comes back with one muffler, rusted out piece of shit with a hole in it. He's like, we got a Bel Air muffler. It's not in good shape, but I told you we got it. Well, you didn't tell me. You promised me racks and racks of stuff. Where is it? No, now that you're here, we've changed the terms and conditions. This is what we got. Take it or leave it, asshole. That's what Google's doing. When you get there, when you get to the auto parts store, when you get to the last page, the entire terms and conditions are changed. And maybe they're like, we didn't promise you racks and racks of nothing. Now, do we have to call the police on you, boy? Okay, part 2. First section was nothing. This is an absolute mind bender, thinking about the impossibility of how quickly it returns results. So search something broad. Trees. 3,400,000,000 results in 0.88 seconds, in less than 1 second. For some reason, the results returned on this Mac, this new Mac, are slower than on the Windows laptop, but whatever, still impressive. 3.4 billion. All right. Now, are you telling me, and I know all the objections that will come and all the things the normies will scream, are you telling me that it can comb the entire web? Imagine, do you realize the size of the, quote, World Wide Web today in 2021 in terms of teraflops, petaquats, whatever it is? I mean, there's something put out like 10,000 tweets and Facebook posts a second, or I mean, it's beyond comprehension and it's cataloging the Facebook posts. It's cataloging the tweets, the Tweety birds. It's beyond comprehension. And now, Matt, don't you understand indexing? And for a popular, things are cached, Matt. And for a popular topic like trees, it knows it has already lined up the search results. It's already done the work for you for popular results, Matt. Don't you understand anything about how Google? That's all the bullcrap you'll get on, but then it's on the web in terms of how it works. They just will give you we'll look at some nonsense websites that try to explain it. It's not possible when you get into the obscure search results. Even this isn't possible. That it could, of the whole web and the petateraflops and the millions and billions and quadrillions of Carl Sagan petatrillion flops, it can just comb the entire web in 92 seconds. 92 seconds would be tough. 0.92, not even 1 second. 3.4 billion results. Now, it breaks down when you search for something specific, like Siberian elk. I have no idea. I'm just doing this on the fly. For sale. Siberian elk for sale. It's got 2,500,000 results in 0.72 seconds. Siberian elk for sale. Live sales. White Elk Ranch. Is this cataloged? Is this a popular search result so they have already done the work beforehand? No. The only way this can be happening is a true scouring of the entire web. Okay, to dispel the objections from the normies that will always have a way to explain this away, I called Greg and I said, we need to do an experiment. And the experiment was, Greg used to be into coding and programming. He doesn't do it much anymore. But I said, can you find an older website of some obscure thing that you used to look at, or, I'll wait. And he had some things still on a certain computer, when you save certain websites or put them in your favorites, and he was looking through those. He said, okay, I've got something. I've got some obscure website. Don't tell me what it is. He's in South Carolina. I'm in Pennsylvania. I said, just give me, 10 words from a random page. All right? So Greg reads to me, and he didn't send it by email so Google knew what I was going to do. And he just reads it over the phone, and I type in, the main differences are the case style and the firmware, blah, blah, blah. Maybe there's a few more words here. I just cut and pasted this in. So I just put in 10 words back to back, or 11 words, 12 back to back with quotes from this obscure website. And okay, Greg, I'm going to do it. I hit enter. I get 212 results in 1/2 second. So this is not possible in terms of any known understanding between our bookends of how any sort of technology that we're aware of works. It's alien per the exact. Doesn't mean little green men. It means something is going on here outside, way outside of which we can understand, way outside of which they'll ever share with us. So there's, just to start with the basics here, I typed these. And the reason it was a very good example is the main differences are, and I don't even think that's not, most people say the main difference is, I'm not even sure this is appropriate use of language, but it was more specific, which is good. So I put it in, so from my perspective, I asked Google to search for one sentence amongst how many trillions of pages and tweets and Facebook posts and websites. I don't know, trillions? I have no idea, but it's big. You can imagine. And it gave me the exact website in 1/2 second. Now, I don't even have a good internet connection. It took, 0.2 to go out to the server? And then it took 0.2 to come back? So in 0.1, 1/10 of 1 second, it searched the entire web to find that sentence on this bizarre website. The WP4A08. I don't even know what this is. The blog was created to share projects, ideas, experiences, amateur radio with other radio operators. The Baofeng UV5. Okay. It's just, this is not possible. Okay? All the bullshit. We'll look into all the excuses that those that try to explain this on the web will provide about caching and anticipating common search results. This is literally asking Google for a needle inside of a haystack that's 10 times larger than Mount Everest. And not getting a team of Sherpas to search through the damn thing for 40 years and finally finding it in 1/10 of 1 second. Now, I have no idea how the normie would explain this away. And I've actually had some conversations with, quote, normal people about this. Oh, and they'll find a way. They'll find a way to sleep at night that we're saying, or if you agree with what I'm saying, is just completely, oh, you're going down that conspiracy route again. Whatever. Okay, let's do this together to see the explanation served up to the average guy or gal. As usual, the typical BS explanation, quote, reality serves up. We'll put in, how does Google return results so fast? And it is very comforting to know that, what was his name? Corky Gonzalez is still here with us. It's like having a friend, like the paperclip, as you search. How does Google return results so fast? Let's see well, Google has a ready-made answer. So, of course, that's what Google prefers. This is from superuser.com. Why doesn't Google themselves? Google, are you listening? Why don't you tell us yourself? Why does it have to come from superuser? Where these clowns are, but this is what Google recommends, so let's go. Okay. Oh, accept cookies. This is every time to make life more complicated, you've got to click that. All right, well, where's it taking us here? Again, this will be a mess. It'll be complicated, and it's all by design, guys. That's why we're doing this on the fly. Okay. Google's business is search. Oh, really? Oh my! Who wrote this? And serving up ads, and it's very focused on that. Oh, come on. This is what Google served up as what they recommend the answer to the most important question we just typed in. There are a number of things that Google does to ensure data is returned to you very, very, very fast. First, it uses MapReduce and PageRank to generate a comprehensive index of the World Wide Web. It updates this regularly, so the results are fresh. That index is distributed and replicated across Google's many servers. Your query is split across multiple servers to build the return results. This allows the process to be highly parallelized. Is that a word? Common queries and results are cached. There's that word. Just throw cache at them, and they'll just walk away figuring they've got an adequate result, reducing the need to perform the search at all. Now, this is just bullcrap. It's just a bunch of nonsense. And the idea behind when you get nonsense like this is so the kind of smart person that doesn't question authority or reality that gets these types of answers kind of starts thinking themselves, well, I don't really want to spend 20 hours understanding what MapReduce is and PageRank, and I'll just take their word for it that there's websites that say how Google can do it so fast, so it's not a big deal. I'll just stop looking into it. That's the design. That's why this is here. It uses MapReduce and PageRank, and most people, it uses MapReduce and PageRank. I knew Matt was a conspiracy theorist for saying it was unnatural that the search results come back so fast. It's just nonsense. So people can get a warm feeling inside that they've done research. This is no different than when my friend Tony went off and said, what are you saying about the 7-Eleven event, the job application? What are you saying? And he went out and found the Popular Mechanics article. Let's do this one. From stackoverflow.com, also recommended on the front page of Google by Google. How can Google be so fast? Okay. 13 years ago, it was asked. This is what Google's giving me back from something from 13 years ago. Nobody across the entire breadth of humanity, billions of people, is asking about to explain the speed of Google in the last decade. 13 years ago. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm not just Matt. You're selectively finding what you want. Google serving these answers up to me on their front page. I'm not doing it. What are the technologies and programming decisions that make Google able to serve queries so fast? Every time I search for something, it amazes me how quick it comes, blah, blah, blah. Here are some of the great answers and pointers provided. Google Platform, MapReduce, algorithms carefully crafted, hardware, cluster farms, and massive numbers of cheap computers. What? Caching and load balancing, Google File Systems. Google File Systems, fine. Let's just check it out. Where does it take me? The Google File System by Shanghai Guanghua. Abstract. We have designed, look at this nonsense. Look at this nonsense. Okay, again, this is designed, so somebody's very interested in this, and they get to here, and they go, well, I'm not willing to put in this much work and really understand it. And because all this data in this white paper is here, I'm sure there's a very good explanation that Google and the people that Google are recommending that I read to understand how the search results come back so fast. I'm sure there must be a very good explanation that people need to be in the computer industry to understand it. But I'll just go away thinking that there's just something I'm missing. That's the point. I'm saying there isn't anything anybody's missing. I'm saying I guarantee there's nobody that's going to be able to explain how they do it so quickly. And I'm saying the technology to do it is alien. Meaning it's just something we don't understand. I guess we'll ponder it at the end. But this is the same type of breadcrumb trail that just leads one to go, I'm not really interested in spending 100 years trying to figure this out. I'll just take their word for it that it makes sense and smart people understand it. Smart people are in control. Let's do this one. Of course, ask any question and Quora will be there with an answer for you. Quora. Who made then the world's authority on everything? Google did. Quora. How is Google Chrome so fast? Blah, blah, blah. What makes Google search so fast? Oh, I can't wait. Quora's going to give us the answer. Google is the most used website in today's world. You don't know an answer to a question, you just Google it. What? Are you getting paid, Quora, by the word? You want to talk about stating the obvious. This is like, what is it, Mr. Valentine? At Duke and Duke, we trade in pork bellies, just like you have in a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. Are they getting paid by the word? Let's hope. I'm going to click more. Let's hope it impresses us in the next section. But have you ever wondered how Google makes it possible? Blah, blah, blah. There are many search engines like Yahoo, Baidu, blah. Google is the most trusted one. Oh, you want to talk about a Quora to Google ass kissing? Let's just get to the main part of it. If you search wildlife, yeah, we know. We've used Google before. What's the answer to my question, Quora? Other than indexing, there are certain other factors that improvise the Google search. The cache factor. Many a time, the search engine does not refer to the index. It refers to the cache, if the query has previously been searched for. Well, what about when I search for Siberian elk for sale, or what Greg gave me, some obscure website I've never been to? I've never even gone down the topic of ham radio. So this one is complete bullshit. Tons of servers and smart architecture. Well, that actually proves my point. If there's tons of servers and it has to go on all those servers to find the answer one by one, I don't care. Is there anybody listening to this actually saying the speed of light, Matt? The speed of light isn't that fast. No way it's that fast. I don't want to get into the sun and the moon and all that. That's not the point of this. But they say the damn light takes 7 or 8 minutes to find your eyes. It's not instantaneous, the speed of light. The World Web is so massive, even at the speed of light, it had to search through tons, like it says here, tons of servers and smart architecture. It would take a long time for an obscure result or answer like, how do I buy Siberian elk? Google, if anything were real, it would give you an hourglass, and it would say, this is an unusual request. We might need a minute or two to find your best results, and that would make sense. Not 0.3 seconds. when it took point 0.2 to go out and come back, searched the entire breadth of the entire World Wide Web in point 0.1. Okay? So this proves my point. Smart architecture. Just slap the word smart on anything and people will buy it. Pre-results guesses. Pre-results guesses. Who writes for Quora? Somebody that can't even compose a proper sentence. Get Grammarly. When we type something in Google search bar, the search engine automatically populates its best guess. Oh, for how do I buy Siberian elk? This is all bullcrap. It doesn't explain anything I just did. Is anybody surprised? Me neither. Okay, let's go to this one. The basics of how search works. Google developers. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Developers.google.com. We're going right to the heart of the matter. Maybe Ray Kurzweil himself will answer our question. Let's just ask the experts, right? What do they have to say at Google? The basics of how search. But see, Google, I specifically wanted to know how you can do it so fast. And I'm still in the first page. And you're not really here addressing how fast. You're telling me how search works when I wanted to know how fast. So you're already, your first page results of that are irrelevant because you don't like what I'm searching for. Because maybe even the people at Google can't explain it. Inclusion in Google search results is free and okay. Google search essentially works in 3 stages. Crawling. Google searches the web with automated programs called crawlers. And that's the same, it appears to be the same technology like web crawler from 1995. Okay, looking for pages that are new or updated. That is not something that takes 0.2 seconds across the breadth of the entire World Wide Web today. Again, people have I can't even comprehend it. You cannot comprehend how massive the amount of data. It is not 1998. It's a million times bigger. Indexing. It's the same bullshit every time. Google visits the pages that it has learned about by crawling and indexes them. Serving search results. When a user searches on Google, Google tries to determine the highest quality results. The best results have many factors. Not what I'm searching for a specific sentence on an obscure blog that nobody has visited in 8 years. It's not anticipating anything then. It's finding the needle in the Mount Everest haystack to the 100th power. Even Google, and it's not even telling us any sense of how it can do it so quickly. Google, when I put in a simple search, which says, how does Google return results so fast? The Google result in no way addresses my question. But yeah, we're just conspiracy people for posing it. Yeah, okay. Every segment of this video, I kind of know what to expect, but what actually happens is even surprising to me. And this part is, I don't know any other word to say. It's offensive. Offensive. Okay. It's the same search query, but we're on page 2. How does Google return results so fast? Was typed into the box. It knows exactly the information I'm looking for. There is no ambiguity here at all. How does Google return results so fast? It knows what I want. Yet on page 2, it completely breaks down, doesn't give me anything near what I'm looking for, and it's telling me there's over 1 billion results. You know, we could do that same thing here. Just keep going, and eventually that 1 billion results would go to like 250. That's nice. That's the first part of this video. So page 2. We're not on page 200 here. Well, it doesn't even let you go that far. We're not on page 20. Index coverage report, Search Console help has nothing to do with what I'm asking for. FAQ about Google Trends data has nothing to do with what I'm asking for. Google Trends, nothing to do. Governor Phil Murphy on page 2 of this query. I mean, what's this doing here? Analytics, tools, and solutions for your business. How to maximize the returns from your data, McKinsey Company. 20 great search engines you can use instead. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's 20 great search engines instead of Google. And you look behind the curtain, Toto helps you move the curtain on all of them. It just leads right back to Google and Bing in every single case, I'm sure. Customized search in Safari on Mac. Hybrid quantum investment optimization with minimal holding. I mean, page 2. So this also, it means, well, I don't think that I'm the only one that ever asked this question or tried to address it, how the results come back so fast. So this doesn't seem legitimate to me. You know, I think there's probably a lot of, if I had to guess as a conspiracy guy, I think there's probably a lot of websites that have talked about it as I'm talking about it over the years, saying it's alien in some regards, meaning it just cannot be understood. It's no technology, or it's done in a way that they'll never share, that they keep quiet. Maybe they don't truly understand it. Would you say there's something they're trying to maybe hide here? Oh, here comes the conspiracy again. I'm not the one giving a bunch of nonsense on page 2 of Google based on a very specific inquiry of which Google and everybody else knows exactly what I want. This all the relevant information, will just go away. And, if I put my presentation here into some sort of, voice to text website, where would that be indexed? You know what I mean? How quickly would that just disappear out of the search results, that they want you to see? So in summary, to combine the first section with the last section, the first section is obvious censorship, where they'll end up showing you 45 or 50 pages where they promise millions of pages at the top. And then when you get to the last page, they just make a correction at the top that, there's only 244 results. We didn't promise anything else. So you have that going on. Then you have the back end of which you can search for the most obscure thing, and it finds it in less than 0.2 of a second. Scours the entire breadth of the web, which is 4,000 times larger than the mental image of all the grains of sand on all the beaches around all the oceans. It's that big, and it finds it immediately. So because of the speed demonstrated, I have to assume that when you search for something general like trees and it says we can deliver you, it's one of a billion results, I have to assume it actually does have a billion potential links to show you, because it can find things that quickly. It can find things in 0.2 of a second. So I think the initial number of how many things it could show you is accurate. I think it is that sophisticated. It is that fast when it wants to show you. I mean, when it's getting into the topic we just discussed, then it'll completely show you nonsense on page 1 and have page 2 talking about the governor of New Jersey, just completely what you're not looking for. When it wants to keep you away, that's something you shouldn't be looking for, and you put your hand in the cookie jar, it's going to get slapped. It'll just give you a bunch of Beyonce nonsense on page 2. So the initial number to me is accurate. So therefore, it's blatant censorship when they just cut you off after page 45, and it's promising you a billion results, but it's only giving you 250. Kind of a little difference between those numbers. It's censorship. Of course it is. There's no other word that's applicable. It's showing you what it wants. And who makes the first, from a conspiracy theory standpoint, who's making the first 250 results of which it's saying there are billions? Only those that are the corporate interests, only those that go along with the official narrative. I guess every once in a while they'll make it look good. You can find some conspiracy stuff or whatever, but there's revelation of the method, that things that they want to get out, things that come out about, say, the shape of something, where they love that less filling, tastes great debate. There's a lot of conspiracy. It will serve up if you search conspiracy topics, because it loves the divide and conquer of what most conspiracy theorists do. Of course, most of us in this community play into its hands, play into exactly the type of behavior that it wants. So what I'm saying, it's not to say that, well, Matt, how come when we search certain conspiracies, all this stuff, well, you can search the reptilians in Google and you'll get a bunch of websites talking about it. Well, in my opinion, those topics, when you search them like that, it's exactly what it wants you to find. It loves people that just chase endless breadcrumbs with conspiracy. It's all conspiracy outside on the periphery of the screen that gets you nowhere in terms of cutting through all the nonsense and understanding your real role here in life and understanding yourself. And we've been over this. So, I'm not saying somebody'll in desperation be like, I just searched for the reptilians or whatever, and it gives me things, and the system itself, it promotes endless debate on conspiracy. That's why we're learning to walk away from it. So anyway, guys, thanks for listening. This was pretty interesting, this research. Thanks for watching.